So I took a bit of a sabbatical, needed some days off, had a rough week last week, and I saw a, I think it was a story earlier today, and it was a young woman talking about going on a date and about the guy paying. And I thought it was interesting because it made me think about how women will oftentimes still hold the value of men should pay for dates. But I don't think they understand the way that the math is calculated in the guy's brain. So, younger guys under 30, they just do it because they think they're supposed to. And they probably never been married, never had a family. And so it's like, okay, this is traditional. I'm just going to pay for a date, keep it pushing. But it's not at all the same for people over 30, especially if you over 40, because these guys are usually either not at all in the experimental stage, they definitely want to settle down, or they're trying to settle down after recovering from a past relationship of some sort, or they just don't have the time for the whole experimental nature of like dating. And so when it comes down to like going on a date and paying for everything, there's a certain math that goes into it. I know this because I know a lot of people who are entrepreneurs and successful people and everything, and they treat everything this way. It's not just dating, it's everything. And the math is, how much is my time worth per hour, and do I want to donate that value to anything? So I'll use the typical benchmark that a lot of women use. They usually want a guy that makes six figures. So we'll say guy makes 100K. You break that down in basic salary math. That means he makes roughly around 50 an hour, give or take. So if that's what a guy makes, that means an average date is about 4 hours. So that means that date is going to cost him about $200 in time. Not to mention that you're going to want him to come and pick you up, take you to a place. You're going to probably want to get appetizers, dinner, dessert, drinks, then leave from there, go somewhere else, sit down, more drinks or snacks or whatever, or go to, like, most of the time they don't want to go see a movie because you can't talk there. They don't want to go see a show because you can't talk there, because it's all a fact-finding stage where you get to ask each other questions and everything. So probably going to go to like a bar or a lounge, more drinks, give or take. That date is going to run anywhere from another $200 unless you try to pick somebody that takes you somewhere flashy. So then you're talking about maybe 3 or 4. It just depends on where they go. So we can say, because we know it's not going to be accepted if the guy take you to like Applebee's or Aubrey's or something like that. You're going to most likely want to go to a nicer restaurant. People even rejecting the Cheesecake House nowadays. So let's say it's a fancy Italian restaurant. Last time I went to a fancy Italian restaurant, I believe, for the 4 of us, bill was about $180, give or take, maybe a little bit more, because I remember it was a girl I was dating, and we went with her parents, and so I had remember offering to cover the tip because they were covering the tab. And I actually want to say it was more than, I think it was more like 210. But anyway, we'll say, just to cut the number safely, we'll say between dinner and drinks and a tip, we'll say that's another $200. So we're saying it's going to cost him $200 in his time, plus $200 out of his account for those 4 hours. So that means you want $400 out of this dude. And for what? And the answer is always for us to get to know each other. You want a dude to pay $400 to get to know you. And then people wonder why dudes don't opt for second dates. And what I ask people, and I've asked a few of my sisters this before, cause I'm around a lot of women who are like very entrepreneurial and stuff like that, and so I always ask them, how much is an hour of your time worth? Now multiply that by 4, then double it, and tell me what any guy would have to do for you to donate that to him if the only thing he presents to you is tall and attractive. That's usually where the conversation goes quiet. And that's why the dating market doesn't work for a lot of women today.